Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the GPTs in AttractWell. So in your menu, you're going to find GPTs under Content Library, and it's called My GPT/quizzes. A GPT is an AI bot. You can train it and customize it to do a wide array of things. I have mine set up to do a website and funnel audit. If you'd like to take the website and funnel audit, the link is in the description of this video, and it will assess your business and give you suggestions on what you can improve. So you can use it for all different kinds of things. I've been using it to do an SEO audit, a business assessment. So I've been playing with it for a number of different things, but you can get creative. I've seen people use it for intake for their clients, assessments for a certification program, a quiz on a course, or just a help bot. So just a chat bot that's going to answer common questions. And it can also escalate the conversation to a real person. So it can escalate to you, and it would just send you a notification saying that so-and-so wants to talk to you, or it can send them a booking link to book time to speak with you online. So it's up to you. You have to get creative with it. But the cool thing about this feature is that I don't really have to show you how to use it, because it kind of tells you itself in its own creepy way. So if you hit Create GPT, all you have to do is just start talking to it, and it's going to tell you what it wants you to do. So, and it also fix itself and review itself. It's kind of nuts, but let's walk through some of the things we could use it for. So let's maybe do consult with customers to guide them to the right offer, answer questions. Maybe let's just set up a really simple one. So maybe like a chat bot for contacts and stuff like that. So if you wanted to have it on your website, consult with customers to guide them to the right offer. Okay, so let's do that. You don't have to use one of these options. You can just type in like, I want to create a quiz for blah, 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 and it'll say great. So now you have to tell it what language, and then we're just going to wait for it. And you're basically just answering the question. So tone of voice, let's do warm and supportive. And what specific offers, products, and packages does your GPT need to guide customers towards? Please list them with a brief description of each. So I'm just going to pull up my website really quick here so that I can just kind of grab some of my offers on here, and maybe that'll be faster. So maybe my shop. Let's see if it can use just my shop. Can you pull the offers from my store? It would be really helpful if it could just read my store, but I can always copy and paste it. It's always worth giving it. I can't access or pull content from external sites. Could you please describe the offers? Okay, so you do have to type it in. That's okay. I'll take a minute and I'll just do that. Okay, so I have copied in the descriptions of all of my products in my shop. So I have all my ebooks and resources over there. So I just copied and pasted the product descriptions and titles in here so we can see what the GPT is going to do with them. So really what you wanted to do is converse with people on the site and recommend products to them based on their needs. So all your digital products are noted. Do you want the GPT to avoid discussing any specific topics? So here you can tell it what not to do. In this instance, I'm just going to hit no restrictions for simplicity, but you can go in and say never talk about this or never recommend this. So here it wants to know, do you want it to collect information? So it can just talk to people, but it's great for generating leads as well. So if you want to know who it's talking to, you can say, yeah, let's grab a name and an email. So I'm going to say, yeah, let's collect name and email. Should the GPT be able to escalate conversation to a live human? I'm going to say yes. What it'll do is put them on live chat and alert you. So you can actually come in your menu under contacts. Yeah, under contacts, you'll see GPT chats. So if someone gets escalated to a live chat, you'll get a notification. You can come in on GPT chats and actually continue the conversation with them live. Under what circumstances should it be escalating to a human? When they ask to talk to a real person. That's pretty typical. And usually when it's done, it'll say, okay, cool, I'm going to configure this for you. And then you go in and fix it. What outcomes should the GPT recognize at the end of the conversation? For example, interested in specific products, ready to purchase, needs more time to decide, not a good fit. Okay, so what is going to be the end of the conversation? We're going to say interested in a specific product. And you can say something else like, no, the conversation is done when they get a result at the end of my quiz. What specific product interest outcome should the GPT recognize? For example, interested and get found SEO are similar for each of your products. Yes, interested in one of my specific products. Okay, so it wanted me to list all the different things they could be interested in. So I just listed the names of all of my ebooks and told it to direct them to my store. So if they express an interest in one of my ebooks, it'll say, great, you can buy it here. So that's the kind of thing. It's going to start to kind of go, okay, I think I understand. Now can I configure this? So let's apply the configuration. We get the confetti and we can go into configure. So the configure tab at the top, you can add a photo. The photo will go where this little robot is in your GPT, because you can see the GPT forming over here. You can name your GPT. So I'm just going to call it HelpBot for now. And the description is show the user. So this is just a description of what the bot does. The welcome message is the first thing the bot's going to say over here. And then the instructions. The instructions need to be extremely clear. And you can tell it what to do and what not to do. So you never talk about this. Do not ask them or do not allow them to type in answers. Only provide them with answers to select, things like that. And if you're doing a quiz or an assessment, this is where you're going to lay out all of your questions. And if there's scoring, like how it's scored or anything like that, so that all that information goes in here. Down here is conversation starter. So you can see on the right, it's prompting them to click one of these options, but they can also type in an option. So you can adjust these over here. And then it says contact collection. I'm requiring it to collect name and email. You can say down here during the conversation, at the start, at the end, or never. And then how to collect. So just in natural language, you'll say, hey, what's your name? Or you can have a pop-up where they actually enter it into a field. And then you've got some automation information or automation options down here. So you can kind of go through these different fields and adjust things if you need. But basically, I should go down to the bottom here. Here's important too, your AI settings. You can adjust the creativity. So the creativity is basically how much can AI go off script. So you probably want to keep it low for something that's going to be like an assessment where you want it to just do what it's told, and high if you really want it to be kind of coming up with its own answers for people. And then we're going to go to outcomes. Outcomes is really important. This is what happens at the end. So you can see it's put some outcomes in for me here. And these are all the different products I had it recommend. So I can click on each of these outcomes and hit edit. And you can see the outcome name. When is it going to basically assign them this outcome? So they've expressed an interest in my SEO and AI guide, and they want to learn how to purchase. So I can tag them here. If I want to have things tagged, I'm going to take that off though. You can have a transcript of the conversation sent to them, or it'll use AI to kind of summarize the conversation and send it to them. This is great for personalized results on assessments and things like that. My website audit does this. So it'll be like, hey, you told me that you're struggling here, here, and here, and these are the things I recommended to you for these reasons. So it writes kind of a more human-looking email, which is nice. You can turn those on if you want. You can add more actions, which could be campaigns. You can grant them call packages, vaults, automations, those kinds of things there if you want. And then you can send them somewhere. So you can have it just give you a thank you message, which you can see behind the box here. There's a thank you message that'll pop up, but you can also take them to a web page. So for a quiz, say your quiz had 4 different outcomes, 4 different answers that they could get, or 4 different results, right, that they could get. You can have a custom page for each of those results and it'll direct them there. So if they get this result, take them to this page, or you can take them to a booking link or an outside link, whatever you want. And then you can also give them a button label. So there's going to be a button on this one. So in this case, I want the button to say, it says visit store. I'm going to actually test it and see if it'll take them to the store on its own, but I might have to enter the actual URL here, and they're going to click that to go to the store, which I think is what's going to happen. So you're going to go through your outcomes and you're going to check that that is actually set up the way you want. And then on settings, you can see here, you can make it active. You can have it publicly accessible, or the GPT can only be for people in vaults. So again, if you're running a course and this quiz is for people in the course, you can have this GPT private and it's only for people in the course. It could be something that's part of your membership and people are able to use the tool, but only if they're in the membership. So you can make it not publicly accessible. You can also hide it from search engines, and you can show your site header menu on the page. So this gets its own page. You don't have to use it on the page, but it will get its own page. So if you want that page not to have the menu, you can turn that off. And you can kind of go through the branding here, how it looks, and then you've got your SEO settings down here, and you can have an image on it. So if you're using this as a lead magnet, you want to definitely set this all up because you'll be sharing it on social. Now, once we hit save on this, you can see that run review is up there. Now I can hit run review. It will assess itself and tell you where it sees things that don't make sense. Like, hey, you gave me some weird instructions. I don't really make any sense of that. This is not clear. And it'll offer to fix itself a lot of the time, or you can go in and fix it. So that's a really good feature. Make sure that you use that. Viewing it live will take you to the page where it lives. So this is its own unique link. And you can start playing with it and testing and make sure it works. Make sure you test it lots. But you can also add it as a pop-up on any pages. So if I go into one of my website pages, so I'll just go into my home page here. If I go to settings on the page, I can go into the leads tab, and I'm going to just turn on the lead. So I'll say it's lead capture form in a pop-up, and I can go down to GPT, and I can say show a floating custom GPT, select which one. I'm going to choose my help bot, adjust the position, what the button says, all of that. And if you want it to automatically open, and we'll hit done and save, and I'll just show you where this goes. So you can see it's at the bottom right because that's where the settings had it set. It's the purple color because I have that set up in the GPT settings to be purple. But when you click it, it opens up like this. So you could use it as a chat feature on your site. You can have it just be like a help bot. You can have it be a lead magnet. If you come into my website, you can test out my free website and funnel audit. And that is a GPT that I have set up and trained and done all these things with so that it'll actually give you good advice on your website. So you can go play with that too to see how it works. But hopefully you found this helpful. And if you have any questions, please just leave a comment. Subscribe to my videos to get more content like this, and visit my website so you can check out all my resources to help you learn how to grow your business online.